everybody, for those who don't know me, I'm Anya Simmons and I describe myself as a mixed media artist who loves to create colourful textural pieces of work. So this weekend would have been the wonderful contemporary arts fair Discover Gather Give at the beautiful Stratford upon Avon Town Hall. But I'm excited to tell you that we're going virtual this year and lots of artists who would have been taking part are going to open their studios to the public for everybody to learn a little bit about what they do. And this is my studio at home in Kyneton, and I'd like to take you around the room and show you some examples of the work that I produce. On this table here there are three pieces of work that I've created during lockdown. They're quite quirky. This one is Berg Island, having fun. And the middle one is Manarola in Italy. And then the little one on the end is called Pittenweem Harbour. I love creating textural pieces of art using a mixture of gesso, acrylic inks, sometimes acrylic. I'll often use ink pens. I'll even introduce some textured papers beneath the layers of gesso as well. So I really enjoy creating colourful pieces of work that are positive and hopefully make people smile. So moving on to my Gclay gem prints, I call them. These are all beautifully framed in a white wooden moulding, and I have quite a number of different harbours all over the UK. I've painted a lot of Cornwall, Devon, Wales, the Highlands in Scotland. In fact, anywhere I go on holiday, I get inspiration from and come back to my studio and start to create and paint. All these gem frames are framed in this white wooden moulding, and they all come beautifully sealed at the back and strung ready to just pop on your wall and hang up. That one is Salcombe Regatta in Devon. I also offer them mounted. So these are the mounted Gclay open edition prints, and they are also a mixture of landscapes and harbours and quirky worlds, I call them, which I'll show you in a little while. This one is called Crater Cottages, and then also obviously the rectangular ones I also produce, which come in varying sizes. I'm going to move on now to my limited edition prints, which are larger, and I have got a variety here to show you of my harbours, which are in this browser stand. And in this browser stand here we have a mixture of mainly the textural landscapes that I thoroughly enjoy to paint. So I'll just flick through a few. This one is St Monans in Fife. This is a new original piece that I have painted during lockdown. So we have Porpero Harbour here. These are 50 by 50 square, that includes the mount. Then we come to Magical Tenby. We really enjoy going to Wales and visiting lots of lovely beaches. We've actually been to Tenby quite a number of times, and I think I've probably painted about 8 Tenby originals over time for commissions. And here we have Magical St Ives, another favourite haunt of ours. Foy Harbour, Carnarvon Cove, and I'll just flick through those quite quickly. Another Tenby Experience 4, Tenby again, Tenby Experience 2, this one, Sennen Cove in Cornwall, Salcombe Regatta, Portlow in Cornwall, Glabelly, North Devon, and then we come to a few quirky worlds here. This is Over the Moon with beach huts and flowers. Little mouse over the moon sending his love. And finally, I also enjoy doing plants, and this is the Honesty plant, one of my earlier ones. So those are mainly the Harbours, and then we come to the landscapes. And I really do enjoy creating lots of different textures within my landscapes. And in the foreground you can see with this one, Bridgend Farm, the thick textural gesso coming through, lots of layers of washes of acrylic ink. And then we have Crater Cottages, and I've actually used a little melon scoop to create the little craters within this piece into the gesso, which has been laid down quite thickly. And then we come to Into the Blue, again the gesso in the foreground, but this textural effect has been created using a palette knife. Then we have Porthclay Cottages, a more cooler wintry one ready for Christmas, and Blackrock Cottage in Scotland. And then we come to some more very long ones, which I'm going to have to turn up this way because they are quite long. Wilderness Cottage 1, inspired by the Highlands. Blue Ridge Dell, this is a new one I've just done, and it's quite large. Lots of textures again, created using gesso, palette knives, forks from the kitchen, melon scoops, and acrylic inks with a little bit of detailing here and there with an ink pen. Then we come to Magical Tuscany. That's an earlier, well, the original was an earlier works, several years ago now. We have here Stony Lake View. Now, Stony Lake View is a new one I've painted during lockdown, and I've used a lot of tissue papers in the foreground, actually scrunched and then stuck down, and then I've applied gesso over the top of the tissue paper and then built up my washes of colour over the top. Castle Rock in Edinburgh, in my own style, of course. And Magical Breaks in Snowdonia. Off-Road Cottages 3. Golden Fields, and oh, this one I've also painted during lockdown, Fantry Farm, with all the trees like fans. And lots of texture created using gesso, and also some of this hatching effect that you've got here is different coloured acrylic ink pens that I've added in. Now behind me there are some little originals. I don't know if you can see those. When the light shines on them, the golds and the silvers stand out, and actually as you turn them or move them around, they have a lovely glistening effect. So in this one you can actually see the big bouldery effects created using gesso, and the same with this one here. And as you move it again, you get the shimmer coming through. So there are 3 little new ones that I've also done during lockdown. There's a lot more that I have done and painted during lockdown. Oh, excuse me, but I don't actually have them all here as they are now in galleries, or I was lucky enough to sell them during Oxford and Rochester Arts Week's virtual exhibition online, which was actually a really great, and I enjoyed it very much. I learned a lot about social media than I ever have done before. And then on the walls there are a variety of originals that I've framed. These are framed in triple white moulding with art glass, which saves from having lots of reflection. So there's a mixture there again of landscapes and, well, only one harbour there actually, and some paintings of the honesty plant. The harbour is Padstow Harbour, and the big textural original at the end, the landscape, is called Hawks's Head Farm and is inspired by the Lake District. And then coming along the surface we have a variety of images that I've done over time on slate, which I absolutely love. And if I just pick one up, so the image is on slate, and then if you turn it over you have the name of the image on the back, the St Monans in Fife, and a lot of people actually choose to put them as little groups on the wall and just add a little metal hook to the back and hang them. People have also taken them away and put them in little frames and used them as actual art pieces on the wall, because they are they're a bit special really. And then you have these MDF coasters, which I do a lot more, and in fact a lot of images, but at the moment I don't have very many in stock and will be ordering some soon. But that just gives you an example. So you can find all my limited edition prints and the current originals on my website on www.anyasimmons.co.uk. At present I don't have my slate coasters on my website, but that is going to happen very shortly. So hopefully by the beginning of November, end of October, you will be able to also purchase those from my website. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Anya Simmons Art. And if there is anything you're interested in, or you have any questions at all, do feel free to direct message me. You can also contact me through my website, which has all the details that you'll need there. And I would just like to say thank you very much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed your little visit to my studio today. Zachary, my lovely son, has been doing the video, and he's going to just take you round the studio once more for a final tour. And thank you very much indeed. See you again soon. Good luck everybody for our virtual Discover Gather Give exhibition 2020.